Grand risings, grand risings, grand risings. I hope everyone had like an awesome rest, right? And have themselves together for a particularly great day today. I'm going to be doing a very quick stream right now so that I can give away the link to the private stream that will be later on this evening. You have to get the private link in order to come into the private stream. All right, let's go. We're going to do about a 30-minute build. See whoever comes and catches this info so that they can catch the even more intense information later. I will be doing a live later on this today. Some of the information will be covered, but some will not.
Somebody help me understand this. As a young Nigerian girl moving to America, history was always the one class that I hated with a passion. And that was because that was the first time I actually learned about the African American history. I learned about enslavement. So imagine me, a Black girl, learning this information about potential people from my country that were put through this. And this was the first time that I'm hearing about this. Culture shock, one. But I was filled with so much rage. I was filled with so much rage. Like I couldn't understand it. And these people, I still can't understand the white rage. Because how are y'all for 400 years and then some? To this day, quite honestly, let's be quite honest. To this day, y'all enslaved Black folks, y'all killed them, y'all took them away from their family. At the end of the day, Black folks came to y'all and said, all we want is peace. All they wanted was peace, and y'all was mad, and y'all couldn't even give them that just off jump. And y'all incited violence and killed them some more after they wanted peace. After imagine somebody killing your family members for 400 years over and over and over and over and over and over again. And at the end of the day, all you wanted was peace. And they still chose violence. They still chose superiority complex. They still chose to enslave y'all till this day. And they're the ones that are trigger happy. And they're the ones that have fear in their hearts for Black folks. Just walking down the street, scares some white lady. I'm in confusion. I've always been in confusion. I do not understand. And with the rise of this Tennessee stuff and with the rise of everything going on in America, I am still in confusion as to how these people still got superiority complex and they still rule the world. I am in confusion. I'm surprised. All Black people wanted was peace. Imagine if Black people didn't want peace.
Now, as you heard the sister, she was very, upset and could not understand that everything that we've been
through. She could not understand everything that we've been through, and hearing it, it's crazy, right? Let's hear a little bit more. I believe there's a little more. I do have something else to play. We're just going to give everyone a few minutes to get in. I'll show you guys a little information. I may read, but we'll do about a 30, 40-minute stream. I think she's done. Let's see.
And these people, I still can't understand the white rage.
Because it's the same. They just want to clarify what you guys to see that. All right, hold on a second, guys. Let me go pull up the other video. Give me a moment. And we're going to do that. I think I am going to do like a short read on one of these documents just so people can see kind of what we'll be getting into. I'll do that at the end. I really don't want to put too much info out because it's like as soon as I do that, since my channel is so small, I don't know if this is ego or what, guys. I'll tell y'all, it's in my head. I don't know. I'm really tired of the community with, information I bring to the community. I try to share it with people. Next thing you know, they're, doing builds that want to exclude me to assume, like, hey, I'm bringing this information to the community. And, this is my, my studies. This is my research. Like when they've never even talked about certain topics I talk about. It's amazing. It's so much hate in this community. I mean, you can't trust the men and you can't trust the women. Like, where do you go? You just really just stick to helping your people and not falling for, being used. I've always been a person that, gives of myself to assist and help and, do what I need to do. But at this point in time, it's like I see that, you have no friends. You really have no friends when it comes to, certain things. People want to, hold on, I gotta get back to this. Let's begin to this part where she's chatting on this video. People want to, have favor, but sometimes, you cannot. Okay, here it goes. Sorry, guys. It was taking me a minute to find it. Sometimes you cannot trust or have confidence, or, you got to really watch people in your surroundings. You never know when people have false hate, when they're, pretending to, care for you or, be in your corner. And yeah, you never know. You got to really just watch it. All right, let's go.
To, the motherland, if you so choose to. But let's go ahead and roll that clip.
Dear Black Americans, you are taught that Africans, we are savages. We are not. We are cultured. We are educated. We are knowledgeable. Unfortunately, we are poor on the surface. But beneath us, we have everything the whole world needs. They tell you this to try to stop you from coming back to motherland, because you are the very, very backbone that builds the economy. If you were to relocate back to Africa, you would disable them as a continent. Africa is the only place you would never be racially discriminated against. Africa is the only place where you would never have to fear if you would die the next day or not. Black Americans, you are us. We care about you. We need you as much as you need us. Your color tells you who you are and where you belong. Stop forcing yourself to fit in places you'll never fit.
What made me want to make this video is really the last part of what she said about paraphrasing, being places that you're not wanted.
Your color tells you who you are and where you belong. Stop forcing yourself to fit in places you'll never fit.
In America, every single day we are seeing more and more how this system doesn't want Black Americans here. They're importing people into this country who isn't citizens at all, and they putting them in the Black neighborhoods. And a lot of Black Americans say, okay, what is this about?
Look, Black.
Why are they doing all that? Why are they trying to push us out of our own communities? You look at what's happening in Chicago right now. People are pissed off because of what they're trying to do.
Period. Now, pissed off about what they're trying to do, which is what? Assume the land, something they did before. They do this shit every 100 years, y'all. They literally do this every year, every 100 years, right? What I'm going to be doing, hold on a second, guys. Did I grab the link? Hold on, let me grab the private link real quick. What I'm going to be doing, you guys are going to need to put your email in the chat. I'll let you know when, and then what I'll do is send you the stream that you will be able to join. This is a private link. Do not share it with anyone. If I give it to you, if someone comes in that I don't recognize, I will be kicking you from the stream. So please make sure that you are, hold on a second, let me get it. I was trying to grab the stream. Oh, it must have changed the time. I had AM, PM. All right, there we go. So yeah, let's get this show on the road. Same here, sis. You already know, sis. Sometimes you can connect with people and it's very genuine. And sometimes it's not, sometimes people connect so they can see, how they can usurp you, your energy, certain things that they can possibly benefit off of as far as themselves and not really having you in mind, so it's pretty, important for us to watch our area of people that we are allowing in our life. Me being a person with an open heart, I'm like always, this happened to me all the time. I'm always over friendly. It's in my nature. I just can't be, I just can't be fake. I just can't act like, you know, I'm on your side or I'm your friend or something, and I really don't give a damn about you. Let me just say that part. It just don't happen like that, y'all. Hold on, guys. I have one more thing. Okay, here it goes. Here we go. Here we go. Hold on. Yeah, I got it. Now I got to share. I'm going to do a couple little clips here. Give everybody a minute to get in. I'm going to do at least a 30-minute stream. I think at the 30-minute mark, whoever is not in here at that time, that's when I'll distribute the link. And then I will, we'll go from there. That's what we're going to do. This will be extremely private. Certain information, I think I'm going to just not, you know, hold on. This one. All right, we're going to go. Let's go. Enough talking.
Unfortunate, but nonetheless proud community has found a braver, more gallant young champion than this Afro-American who lies before us, unconquered still. I say the word again as you would want me to. Afro-American. Afro-American Malcolm. Malcolm had stopped being Negro years ago. It had become too small, too puny, too weak a word for him. Malcolm was bigger than that. Malcolm had become an Afro-American, and he wanted so desperately that all his people would become Afro-Americans too.
You're a Negro.
No.
What is your nationality?
My nationality is Afro-American. It's Afro-American. It's Afro-American. American.
You call an Afro a natural. Natural means to be naturally from America. Not nationally from America. Naturally from America is to say that you are indigenous of America. Afro-American is the first one to use the terminology of Afro. Then Afro-Brazilians. Afro-Mexicans. These are indigenous people who had bushy hair.
You mad.
Allow me to explain.
Just like yourself, feeling oh so silky smooth, just letting it shine through, just like yourself.
So glow.
You know I know it's real, but they don't know that you know I know the deal.
not be ridiculous.
You know, you can be all the things you always wanted to be. Beautiful, sexy, innocent. 1, 2, 3.
Just let your soul glow. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow, baby. Feeling oh so silky smooth. Just let it shine through. Just let your soul glow.
Soul Glo. Perhaps I should cut off my printer's luck.
No.
Excuse me.
Hey, it's Kunta Kinte.
What can I do with you, boy? Can you make my hair look like this? Can you make my hair look like this? Can you make my hair look like this?
The black man in America is the most copied man on this planet, bar none. Because we have style, we got flavor, we got rhythm. I mean,
But how do you know about them?
Elementary, my dear Watson.
Okay. Those people that were not here last year, because the people that were here should already know this. If you have a penny, take it out and put it on the brown side of your hand. The 1854, 1849, and 1859 versions have the same definition for American. Americans are the copper-colored races of people that were found on these shores when the Europeans arrived here. 1859. The 1854, 1849, and 1859 versions have the same definition for American. Americans are the copper-colored races of people that were found on these shores when the Europeans arrived here. That was the original definition for American. To use the word American and apply it to the descendants or the immigrants of Europe, when they first started doing that, that was really strange and very foreign to call them Americans. The word did not really fit them. Now, how many of you have the penny on the back of your hand? If you look at what they show in John Wayne movies as Indians, or the people that you see on reservations today, does the definition of a copper-colored person fit those people, or does it fit your people? Okay, so you guys need to be very clear on that.
We can't just be acting like a bunch of wild, ignorant niggas out there just be shouting out demands and shit.
Your second wish?
Okay, good. First motion to introduce a demand for ratification.
Done.
you allow me to explain? I wish you would.
Let's read this particular one, right? It says the Maya. It says sages doubtless had reached similar conclusions since they called their country Mayak. That is, the land first emerged from the bosom of the deep. That means the land first emerged from the bosom of the deep. The country of the shoot. And the Egyptians, the country of the Egyptians. According to Herodotus, boasted that their ancestors in the lands of the West were the oldest men on earth. Let's say that again, right? It says the country of the shoot and of the Egyptians, according to Herodotus, boasted that their ancestors in the lands of the West, which is what the American, when you hear the lands of the West, in case you don't connect that, that is always referred to for America. It says the land of the West were the oldest men on earth. If the opinion of Lynn Humphrey and a host of modern geologists regarded the priority of Americans' antiquity be correct, what right have we to gainsay the assertion of the Mayans and the Egyptians in claiming likewise the priority for their people and for their country, which is who? Us. It is but natural. There's that word natural. Natural is only applied to things of organicity, right? So if you're organic, that is a natural. To suppose that intelligence in men was developed on the oldest continent among the ancient. Queen of Moot in Egypt.
Bam, bop, bada bop, boom, pow.
Y'all like that, 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 right? We about to do a quick share on a small bit of the information we'll be going over today, right? Let me go ahead and get that pulled up for you guys. Actually, I'm going to save this one for then, and I'm going to show you guys. Hold on a second. No, I think I'll do this. Let's do this one. I'm going to do this one right here. Instead, I'll save this for the stream. Okay, hold on one moment. We'll go here because I've kind of went over a little bit of this already. And I'm going to make sure you guys that are tuned in. So you got to be tuned in to a certain frequency. If you're here, you're on the frequency. You're not, your spirit is going to definitely lead you where you need to be today. Because I'm definitely going to be sharing some other things that are pretty, pertinent. So we're going to go here. All right. I'm going to show you a little bit of this information. We'll get to a read, and we'll go from there. Hold on, I got to
George Percy and Ralph Hammer on Virginia. Darker pictures of the sufferings of the early Virginians are found in a fragment of a history called Discourse of the Plantations of the South America.
Started on the wrong page. All right, let's go. Let's start again.
/EOS Rotund, Virginia, of the happy a renewal of that famous and worthy knight Sir Thomas Gates and well-reputed and valiant Captain Newport into England. It is no idle fabulous tale, nor is it feigned news, for truth herself is Sir Ariud, because of old not move. With her, both Gates and Newport come, to tell Flepper doth lyc, which did duelge been to the world, that they at sea did die. 'Tis true that Helia and Momix and more, the gallant worthy wights, was in the ship E, _WWRR nommed, deprived Virginia's fight. And browly did they glit the main, till NF uneaten to frown,
yes,
as IFA courier proudly back, with Throkai's rider down. The one from News from, Virginia, London. 1610, a poem by Robert Ridge. Only known copy in America in the Henry E. Huntington Library, San Gabriel, Cal. Ships for Virginia. The earliest literature in America was narrative and history. The voyagers wrote of their fearful sea journeys. In Virginia, the pioneers struggled against starvation, fever, and the wilderness.
Grandis says,
even in the midst of their distresses, artless historians set down their adventures in clear, matter-of-fact prose. Amid perilous seas and strange lands, they bent themselves to the task of telling a plain tale. They described the new kingdom which extended from Cape Charles to the Appomattox River. John Smith's own story of his adventures, the first of these, and the greatest, was Captain John Smith, 1579-1631, of Carrot, Virginia. He had had many stirring experiences in Europe before embarking for America. Wounded in battle, captured by the Turks, Smith was sold to a gentlewoman in Constantinople. Her angered brother stripped him of his clothes and shaved his head. Smith killed the brother and fled. So runs Smith's tale. His first book, A True Relation, published in 1608, is a vivid record of the first year of the colony, a book in which Smith himself played no small part. It is full of lively.
Really, sis? Hold on. I want you to come up for a quick second. If you don't mind, if you're not busy, if you don't mind, I want to ask you about what you just stated. I'm going to drop the link for you to come up. If you can, please do so. Here you go. Every time I touch this thing, I want to act crazy sometimes. It makes no sense. Let's go.
Ships for Virginia, the earliest literature in America, and Strange Lands. John Smith's own story of his adventures, the first of these, and the greatest, was Captain John Smith, 1579-1631, of Carrot, Virginia. He had had many stirring experiences in Europe before embarking for America. Wounded in battle, captured by the Turks, Smith was sold to a gentlewoman in Constantinople. Her angered brother stripped him of his clothes and shaved his head. Smith killed the brother and fled. So runs Smith's tale. His first book, A True Relation, published in 1608, is a vivid record of the first year of the colony, a book in which Smith himself played no small part. It is full of lively adventures such as his capture by the Redskins. 60 miles up the Chickahominy he heard the hallooing of Indians. To the amazement of his 200 assailants and the delight of all his readers, he made his Indian guide Lee's Barricado, and so saved his own life. CAVC Smith led C. Aptio to T5 Ashan Alberts M. Tartar IAR2 from a copy OL the original engraving in the University Library, Cambridge, England. 3 from John Smith, Generale Historic of Virginia, New England, and the Summer Isles, London, 1624. John Smith and Powhatan in narrating later the famous sequel to his capture by the savages. Perhaps Smith smiled, fancying that in at least one story he would rival the chronicles of Hakluyt or Mandeville. It was after a long pilgrimage that he beheld the barbaric chieftain, Powhatan, magnificent in pearls and raccoon skins, surrounded by his court. This
surrounded by his court,
declares in apparent sincerity, such a grave and majestical countenance, as drave him into admiration to see such state in a naked salvage. True or not, through stories like this of his rescue by the Princess Pocahontas from Powhatan's decree of beheld the barbaric chieftain, Powhatan, magnificent in pearls and raccoon skins,
magnificent in
his court.
Pearls and raccoon skins, surrounded by his court. Surrounded by his court. What does that mean? That means if he's surrounded by the court, he is a king, right? Not a chief, not a chief. Maybe he was a chief because a chief means what? I'll show you guys in a minute. Maybe he was considered Chief Powhatan, but he was actually King Powhatan. Let's go.
Smith declares in apparent sincerity, such a grave and majestical countenance, as drave him into admiration to see such state in a naked salvage. True or not, through stories like this of his rescue by the
pause it in a minute.
Princess Pocahontas from Powhatan's decree of execution, Smith won a considerable portion of his fame. To his intrepid spirit the unbroken frontier was a challenge. He explored New England and Virginia, and fought the Indians long before the arrival of the Pilgrims.
He fought he fought them long before the arrival of the pilgrims. We'll get back to that. Peace, sis. Thanks for joining me, sis. I appreciate you coming up, babe. Now, go ahead with what you were saying in the chat, if you don't mind. Can you elaborate on that for me, please?
Peace, peace, peace. I appreciate you even asking me to join you. Yeah, so my grandfather's family, they are the Reed side, R-E-E-D.
Okay.
Back in the 1930s, his father ran the town down in Canton, Mississippi, but he was very light complected, so he didn't have issues. Well, his son came out more so with a darker complexion. Well, his children, let me say. So when my grandfather came of age, he removed my grandmother from down there. But they went along the Trail of Tears. I had family that ended up in California, some in Chicago, some in Milwaukee. We were chased and run out of Canton, Mississippi. So my grandfather's father, when my uncles went back to get him from down there, they changed the name from R-E-I-D to R-E-E-D because we had to give up our Indian status. We could no longer state that we were Indian. That's why we left from down there. And my mother, who is in her or would be in her late 70s, and my aunt, who is in her late 70s, they passed their experiences down to me. They were young children and they were not allowed to say that they were Indian or that.
Wait, hold on, sis. This is so important, baby. Hold on. I didn't even want to stop you. Sis is saying speak up. Now, she's done that before when I've been in a chat with her. I don't know if it's your mic, sis. If anyone else, before the sister continues, with her breath, can someone put in the chat a 1 if you all can hear her fine? Let me know if you can hear her fine. Put a 2 if not. American Indian mom, I believe sometimes, babe, that your mic is kind of going in and out when you're listening, because I just want to make sure, because it sounds very, very clear to me. She's pretty loud on my end. I have it turned up, pretty good. You guys put a 1 in the chat if you can hear, or 2 in the chat if you can't hear, because it seems fine from my end. And I don't want the sister to go through all of this and, let's see. One person says no, everybody else, one. They say it's low, but they can hear. I don't know why. Maybe it's my setting or something, but I have it literally turned all the way up. Says, hold on, let me turn my thing up to the maximum. I think it's all the way up. Yeah, it's on like 90. Let me put it on 100.
I'm turning mine up as well. Is that better?
All right, guys. They say it's just low on your end. Says, okay. She said she just turned her mic up a bit, guys. Can you hear a little bit better now? We definitely want to make sure that we hear this important information from the sister. So before she continues on, and we have to actually repeat, is that a little bit better? Go ahead, sis. Speak now so they can see if they can hear you better. I'm sorry.
Okay, can you hear me now? Is that better? I'm hoping so.
Yes. Okay, we got a thumbs up, babe. Let's go.
All right. So like I was saying, my grandfather came up here. He brought my grandmother up here to get away from what was going on down south. Actually, my grandfather's family lived in the city, and my grandmother's family were in the country. You owned all the land out there.
Okay.
So my grandfather wooed my grandmother, took her up north to Detroit area. When what was going on in the 30s was going on, my uncles, first, my grandparents had 13 children. So I had 6 uncles that survived and 4. It was a total of 10 of them, 6 and 4. 6 boys, 4 girls. So the 6 boys went back down south to get their grandfather, who was my great grandfather, because he would not stop speaking on who he were. And they threatened to take his life. So once he came up here to Detroit, the only thing that I knew about him was that he would never speak. He just stopped speaking completely when he got up here. Yeah, so they did change the name from R-E-E-D to R-E-E-D. or from REID to REED, so that there would not be any one coming to chase them or come get them
Yeah.
after the fact, so to speak.
Yes, yes.
We do still have family that are down there, although obviously based off of the us leaving, well, not us, but my grandfather and grandmother leaving, there's that little bit of rift of, why did you leave? Why didn't you stay and fight type of mentality. My grandmother, though, was only 14, and my grandfather was, I want to say 22, something like that, 21.
Yes.
Back then, it was okay.
Not to interrupt you. Thank you, sis. I was going to kind of touch on that real quick. I didn't want you to move on, babe. I'm sorry. So, like you said, now I hear this a lot. My grandmother, she was very young when she left and got married and left her town. And these are the things that we hear a lot of times. So, can you elaborate a little bit on that, sis? I think you were about to, but I want to ask you to, when it comes to that age thing, like, having that our people would do this back in the day, the younger women, obviously with a great fertile womb. Like you said, she had quite a few children, being young, that would give her the heresy to be able to leave a bunch of children. I don't know if that played a part with men going for younger women, but, I just want you to, touch on that if you can.
So my grandfather and his family had been indoctrinated into the Cretan or Christian mentality.
Okay.
My grandmother's family had not been. We were still native to the land.
Okay.
When my grandmother, now these are all just passed down. So when my grandmother ventured out into the city with some visiting relatives from up north, that is when she ran into my grandfather. And seeing that they ran the city, that of course would excite any young girl.
Yeah.
So when coming after, my grandmother's family were very protective. So my grandfather, in essence, ended up, I don't want to say kidnapping, because it wasn't really kidnapping, but what they would call runaway love, or that where she was just so woo, she had never been with anyone else, or whatnot, and this city slicker, not slicker, but well, yeah, city slicker,
he was a
came,
yeah,
and wooed her.
Okay.
So he was a very stern, my law, my way, or no way, or hit the road type of man. My grandmother, being bred and raised the way that we are, we're very nurturing. You take care of a man, these types of things. So that's what she did. And no matter what he did, wrong or right or left or up or down, she was always loyal and faithful to him. He was still, a numbers runner and etc. And like I said, they ran the city. There was nothing he could say or do because of who his father were. So he grew up as that spoiled child, and when he got this woman or young girl, spoiled her as well,
Yeah.
But we have to keep in context that was that time frame. The Chitlin Circuit was going on. They married young to keep them from. Okay, exactly.
Yes.
To keep them, in there,
That's
in
right.
the home. Which is why I love what you're doing, because it's bringing attention to us needing to break these cycles and seeing where they started. American Indian Mama said that I may have some ancestors up in New York. I'm quite sure we probably do, because again, as we were pushed up from the Mississippi area, we went every direction. We didn't only go in one specific, way.
And on that, sis, I've heard the other day I was in on a panel and they kept pushing that, saying something about, oh, all of the story about, what did he say? I want to say it right. I'm sorry, sis, but you just touched on that. Hold on. He said the story that makes him believe that we definitely weren't here before is because people weren't all over. Come on, everybody always says, oh, my family was from down south, down south, down south. He said, how can everybody be from down south if y'all were here all over? Not understanding exactly what we're talking about now. So I just want to direct some attention to that because it had to do with that. People will say that maybe more recent times, if this makes sense to you, sis, maybe you can elaborate on this for me. People seem to, maybe this is more of a recent thing, like you said, around the Chitlin Circuit, things like this. When the time came up, when they went through so many different things, maybe possibly, a lot of people were, coming from that time because of the Confederacy, things of that nature. I don't know if you can, but if you could elaborate on that for me, sis.
So my grandmother's family, at that time, like I said, they owned all of the country land down south. And there were individuals that were coming in to appropriate these areas, obviously, as we know, forcing people to move out. Some of my family, of course, if we follow the Trail of Tears, the angle goes towards California area. I have family out there. Then, there are some breakoffs into the Oklahoma area. I have family that way. We have family that also, like I said, ended up in Milwaukee. We also had some in Chicago. We have some. Now, those of us that also came up through Michigan, I have some that are in Flint. I have some that also went as far as Grand Rapids. Let's see. Then we also have some, like, again, in the North Carolina, Virginia, and then, of course, New York. So it's a broad range of spraying of people.
Right.
Nobody went just only one direction. And then if you also think about how the quote unquote slave trade went, they were taking people from the South up north and making them think that they came from another landmass, which would be why some people were trying to get back up north, or those that were up south, up north, let me rephrase that, near the Virginia area. They would take them right down south and make them think that they were coming from Africa, or give us this impression of coming from Africa. No, we were all from the same landmass. And if you study science and geography, how the water rotates, it would only be able to have people come right here. And they would give those that were here the impression of y'all come from somewhere else so that they can appropriate our land masses. All of these plantations were not plantations. They were family run land masses.
Yes, sis.
If you even look at how they have where they have the plantation rolls, or if that's what you want to call it, their documentation, those are families where they automatically just listed where, like my family had 13 kids and they all out there working on the land. Every summer I had to go down south and work that hot aspirin land and hated that shit, pardon my language. But
right,
it was my family's land. That's why where they come and say that they had these plants, all of these things were ours. Even coming up here to the Detroit area, my grandfather owned my grandparents, they owned all of Warren Avenue. My grandfather's middle name is Warren, David Warren Reed. So Warren Avenue, I already know, came from him. These are things that they don't tell anybody. But again, everything is not to be televised, and the resurrection is not going to be televised.
That's right, sis. That's right.
I apologize. I can talk.
Don't apologize, sis. I definitely love hearing this information, when this firsthand information, especially something, excuse me, something that you're, sharing with us of yourself and your private family, that assists us in understanding more about our heresy and, things that were going on. You are appreciated for even coming up. Like, please go ahead.
Because my family was not the only family this was done to.
That's right.
There were multiple families that this was done. And imagine how many people changed their names. gave up the term of Indian, even knowing that we know that this is not India, although India was not called India 100 years ago. It was Hindustan. Right. So we are the Indians that they found, and that is why they told us to no longer use that. They took my family's quote unquote Bible that had our genealogy written in it from all the way back to 1830s. These things were removed from us to remove our attachment and connection to the land.
That's right. On that, sis, since you mentioned that, right? I'm going to talk about this a little later as well, but when it comes to that, right, in the Bible, people are always convoluted because there's so much confusion, right? They always want to say, oh, the Bible is, they put that to control us. Hold on. It's not that they put it to control us. They took it from us, rearranged and changed some things down because see, the Bibles originally were ours. A lot of people don't even know there's so many different. There's the Iroquois Bible, there's the Geneva Bible, there's the King James Bible, there's the Ethiopian Bible. There's like so many Bibles. You know what I'm saying? And it's so sad that our people can't get it. And it's crazy. Me, when I started reading, when I started waking up, like maybe close to 20 years ago, when it came to the Bible, when I, got out of church and I started really studying, the things that were important, I saw it and I started saying, oh, this is really a lineage book. This is a history book. And then with them changing things, they have transformed things. And I seen it one night because I was talking to the ancestors, like, I got to see this because I was studying. I couldn't even sleep. It was just bugging me so bad, girl, like literally. And when I read the Adam and Eve story, I was like, oh my gosh, this is telling the story. This is them writing themselves. Yes, the history. No, not so much. It is them talking about us, but it's them writing themselves onto our history, the addition, the add-on. You know what I'm saying? This is what happened. So when I'm reading this, and then I read the devil talking to Eve or whatever, telling her these things. I can't remember the word for word, but whatever it was he's saying to her and convincing her. And then she goes back to him after. I'm sitting there listening like, wait a minute here. We talking about these people sleeping with people they ain't supposed to. We talking about people being created and invented from the cell. When the part about taking from the rib bone of Adam, because that's
now you cooking.
This girl, listen, I'm telling you, all this came to me because I literally asked for it, and it just when I read it one day, it just was so clear. I'm like, whoa, like how did I never see this? So you're right. Go ahead, sis. That's crazy.
Yes. So even with what you're talking about, how they put themselves into our story and then created his story and removed her story.
There goes sis.
All the
matriarch to the patriarch. Go ahead, sis.
All that long hair. Yes, before my grandparents' house. Listen, I'll tell you that they destroyed a lot of my family's
pictures,
everything, pictures, papers.
Yeah. My mom's too.
My grandparent I had a picture of my great grandmother, and she had
she
was sitting in the rocking chair, with long hair that went all the way
down to the floor
on the ground. Okay, it was actually on the ground, and maybe about a foot was still laying on the ground. That was just my great grandmother, my grandmother's mother.
It's the balances that has been taken away from us too. With people always talking about that, they're like, y'all see the hair, y'all hair don't grow like that. That's a lie. Our hair do grow like that. My hair goes down to the middle of my back. I don't take good care of it because I'm always busy. But my children's hair, my mom's hair went down to her butt, and her hair was like a reddish brown color a little bit, and she was darker than me. Like literally. So like when we hear these things, the water was different, the air was different, the food was different. These things alter the hair. Go ahead, sis.
I'm gonna come on screen one time for you just so you can see my hair.
Let's see you, pretty girl. Come on, beautiful. Show yourself. Let me put you on the big screen so they can see these Indian women. You feel me?
So this is my hair. And as you can see, it's all the way, but
wait, hold on, sis. I want them to see so they can clearly see you. And I'm trying to take this Dolo screen. How am I not being able to get to the Dolo screen?
And I've always had this streak of gray
you
hair.
can see, y'all can see it. Yeah, turn to the side again, sis, so they can see. Come on, play with. This ain't weave, baby. This ain't weave, baby. This ain't weave, baby.
And it's braided and twisted up because I end up sitting on it, and
You so beautiful, sis, and your hair is definitely beautiful. Yes, y'all see that, okay? And that's even with the chemicals and things that's going on. You can't stop the ether, baby. But go ahead, sis. Don't get me started. Okay. You know I go off.
But that goes back to us being, we sprung from this land.
That's right.
The water here does not bother. Well, it doesn't bother me. I know the chemicals and stuff that they give to us, that bothers myself, my son, my family. But just to be actually natural and out here, nothing bothers us. I'm from this land, so it wouldn't bother me. If you're from another land, though, yeah, it might not.
That's right.
Function with your body system, your
chemistry. Sense. Yep. Just common sense.
If the sun here is irritating your skin, it doesn't irritate my skin. I'm used to this zone, this atmospheric pressure. You coming from, not you, them or anyone else coming from another land mass or a climate, they're not going to be able to appropriate just instantaneously. They're going to try and amalgamate and mix into their system or appropriate with others to blend in, to say, okay, well, I need a little bit of this melanin to make sure that my children can survive in this here climate over here. Otherwise, I got to go back up into these mountains or whatever. Where I'm not saying that we are not from there or that we didn't come from there, because we went and got them and brought them down from here, which is our error.
Trying to get some help. You go to time. We're so we don't got time to do this no more. We don't want to put our hand. Since you said this, I got to touch. No, I'm gonna wait till later. Go ahead. But we did this.
Okay, just there are so many different. Look, I started. They shut my house down after I collected up my things again after they burned down my grandparents' house. But then about 20 years ago, they tore down my house and I had to start all over again with collecting things. So this time I'm not even, like I said, nothing is televised or any of that. I just have my books and my papers and my proof, period. I don't need anybody to tell me, oh, you need to go and file this and state that. No, I'm going to tell you right now that I am who I am. And this is who I know I am, period.
Yes, that's right.
How can anyone tell us any way differently, or even charge you to say, well, come on, we need to get legit, whatever it is. Like I said,
sis, let me say something on that, baby. Just to put some in your ear on that, right? The thing is, like, remember what you said, something very important earlier about when they took your grandfather's land and stuff. They ran them off. They couldn't even say who they was. They had to change their name. All of this stuff, right? So thinking about that, sweetheart, we have to be the ones to stand up for our people. See, they weren't able to. Their life was at stake. This stuff makes me so upset. Like literally, man, seriously, we go through so much shit, man. They literally had our people scared to say who the fuck they was, sis. You feel me? And
speaking on what you're saying, because you're emotional now. I want to tell those lynchings and hangings, those were not slaves. Those were not disrespectful. Yes. Those were landowners. Those were business owners that they did not want owning those. Don't let them images cloud anybody's memory. Those were not slaves or people that was being mean and disrespect. No, them was rich people that already owned everything, and that made those others that came over here were not happy with being given their impression of, oh, this is the land of milk and honey. Yeah, it is. It's our milk and honey, though. Not for us to give up to you.
That's
we
right.
can definitely assist you, but we didn't ask for y'all to come here. Y'all were sent here because y'all were the worst of the worst from over there.
That's right.
And now, once they come here, they see how prosperous we were or are. How do you have a train and you put a horse on it because you can't figure out how to work it? That's because we already had that technology.
That's right.
we had all of these buildings.
They didn't know how they couldn't figure nothing out. They sitting here trying to think, oh my gosh, how we gonna do this? We got to create the railroad system, all this stuff that they doing, taking our ancestors. There's so many royalties to these railroads, sis. And this is why they did all of that crashing a few months back with with the trains and all that stuff. Man, I'm going to show that today too. But this stuff, we got so much royalties like in the land because the whole land, everything belongs to us. And what people don't understand, they really can't do nothing without you. This is why they keep usurping you. And back to what I was trying to say, sis, because this is important, right? We have to make sure that we are defining who we are to these damn people. There's no sitting around and, oh, you ain't gonna say who you is. And no, see, because in this day of time, see, we gonna let you know. And we putting it on paper so that our children's children, when they see it, they gonna be like, oh, snap. We can see way back in history where they was doing X, Y, and Z. And they was telling them they couldn't say who they were. They couldn't stand up for themselves, blah, blah, blah. But see, right now, it's totally different because, see, we can do that. And we affirm it with paper. And we put it in the state because, see, the state, with its particular place, this is what is going to have you founded in that area and state to state. So that I'm moving travel. If I decide that I'm going down to Florida, baby, Florida gonna have it too. You feel me? This is what we're supposed to be doing. This is why they have hidden us so long, because they made them afraid to not document themselves, because during the time that they were not documenting themselves, they were reconstructing the history and changing these books and all these different things. So now they could take that time to do that while people weren't speaking up. You can find a few things. I have a few things where they were speaking up like, hey, they doing this, they doing that. Some of our people like, they don't give a damn what they said. We gonna talk about it. But a lot of them, that's what was going on, sis.
Yeah, I definitely agree. That silence, they silenced a lot of people. Like my great grandfather, he didn't speak a word. If he wasn't able to say who he was, he just stopped talking. Yes. And even to us, even up here, up north, nobody.
That was a deep hurt, sis. That was a deep hurt. That was a deep hurt.
Think about this. As we were coming up, first of all, I'm in my 50s. When I was coming up, and I would always hear, we're Indian. Everybody else was, everybody say that. Oh, y'all lying. They all lying.
Mm-hmm.
There was nowhere where I could walk or go, and nobody didn't know who I were. They would always say, oh, you one of them Reed kids, ain't you? You one of them Reed. It's in us.
Yeah.
Sometimes you cannot deny what your blood automatically has for you. And keeping that paper trail is so important because, again, we're at that reset. Politics are now in the process of where they're trying to reset everything to hold on to and maintain their control.
Yep.
They're trying to get, again, all of their paperwork.
I'm going to show you.
Pull it, you know what I'm saying? To stop us from being able to say who we are and where we're from, and that we are from here. Y'all are not.
I'm pulling up this document because I want to show y'all. I'm just going to show it in the bill, but I'm going to show it to people real quick. I'm just not going to show the whole thing, this document. But yes, it's just so much. Look, do you know how to look in the back chat, sis?
I'm going over here right now.
Okay, babe. Yeah, I'm just pulling this something up real quick, but yes.
I got it.
Okay, babe. Perfect. I want y'all to see this, sis. Look at this. Oh, no, keep talking, sis, on what you're saying, but I'm going to show this real quick. Let me get to a particular page. I'm loving it. Like the history, the oral history is so awesome. And like, have you written this down, sis? Have you, like, all the stuff we're talking about, have you taken time to write it down? All the information as far as what against the false history that's already out there.
So actually, yes, every time we have, the last family reunion, quote unquote, was the last time that the last set of members were added. Since before the pandemic, we haven't had an actual gathering of all of our people from all over the Turtle Island area. Although I've still kept up with, I have us back to, like I said, 1831 in paper. Or, a lot of things, like I said, I just really don't want to, put back out there anymore. because I don't want to risk anything being lost again.
Understandable, definitely, sis. But I mean, well, we'll talk about that another time. But yes, this is like, whoo, awesome. You know, we have to have the remembrance of our ancestors, and a lot of times these things are like, I was trying to say, the death. You know how like all these people get hurt or, you know, missing or, you know, all these different things, all that's done too to hide the history, because see, the ancestors are the ones that actually have all this history in their mind. They may not speak on it, like how, you know, they couldn't or, you know, decided not to in your grandfather's case because he was tired or not being able to say anything. But a lot of them being afraid to speak, we don't get the information from them. I used to, when I was younger, I used to volunteer at this hospital. It wasn't a hospital. It was a, what do you call it? Independent living center, like for the older people. They kind of live there. It's not really a hospital, but it's kind of like their own place, you know. Yeah. And a lot of the elders, right? A lot of those older people, man, they'll be saying stuff, you know, when you're young and you hear those old stories, it really be like, what the heck they talking about, you know? But now a lot of times I be thinking back on information and stuff that some of those elders told me, and it's like in me, you know what I'm saying? So when I'm like doing certain things or I know information, it's just because I already knew this information. And sometimes I don't realize, like, dang, how did I know this or whatever? And then it'll come to me, oh, I remember way back when such and such, you know, because I might not even remember where the info came from a lot of times, you know. So it's in us. It's embedded in us. So we're supposed to always talk to these elders, never miss an opportunity to, you know, to ask them a word or two and get some information. I want to say that because it's very beneficial, literally.
Right. Even if they repeat it, let them repeat 4 and 5 times. Mm-hmm. Because they're going to still give you a little bit of something that you didn't get the last time. If I were not sitting at my mother's and my aunt's feet, just listening, I wouldn't even have any of this information.
Right. That's right, sis. You would not have, listen, look how deep that is, just in that, in what you're saying. You wouldn't even have that information, sis. And how here you're sitting up here sharing with us, so we can be like, dang. So we know Reed was before it was REED, and I know Reed, sis. What's crazy too? I have a very close family of Reed families in New York. They're in New York, and yeah, and they're REED.
You man, a lot of people used to say that REID was not us. They would say that it was the other people in that. It was not them. It was us.
Yeah,
that was us. All of these names are ours that they decided to say that, oh, well, no, you all got that from us. No, you took what was ours and forced us, after hanging the men, leaving the women and children to just watch these types of things go on. That would traumatize the young boys. That would traumatize the women in the family. That would make us, I don't know about you all, but it made my mother and my grandmother, it made us really militant to where, you know, no, my family have always had to just be quiet, you know, sit down, sit back, be quiet. Y'all are causing too much, bringing too much attention type of thing. Mm-hmm. A lot of families had that happen. You think about the different walkers that are the different variations of Thompson, Thomas,
that's
Washington.
My family. Mm-hmm.
These names have been changed with just maybe 1 or 2 letters, or letters that are interchangeable. Do your genealogy. If you just go and sit down with one elder, and even if you think they got Alzheimer's, I got one auntie that everyone swears they don't know what she's talking about. Yet when I sit down with her, it all comes to me like she's
perfect sense.
I pull up pictures of back in the 1900s, and she's like, oh yeah, that's where we used to live at, and oh yeah, my mom and them, they own that. And I'm pulling the stuff up and I'm going back to the books, and I'm like, she's right. She's right. She know what she's talking about.
They don't know.
They don't know, because the youth have been given this impression of no such thing as Indians. The Indians is the ones that look like them damn Mongoloids that come over here that they done had to appropriate the term Indian. Those are not the Indians. We are them. Yes, like the Smiths. Oh my goodness, how many people have the last name Smith?
Seriously, I got Smith in my family.
They change everything, and we got to get out of these school systems. I'm a proponent of giving knowledge where knowledge is supposed to. Can I ask you a question just to get your opinion?
Yes.
So, being a scholar and getting straight A's and at the top of the class, actually going above and beyond, and I mean, you're just a great person. Oh yeah, they've got all these degrees and etc. Having degrees and knowledge in wrong information, does that still make you a scholar?
Does not. Does not. When people brag on those things, sister, just like I don't know. I was on a panel and a lady she was saying, "Oh, you sound ignorant. You're sounding like you're very ignorant." Tell me, did you graduate from high school? I'm looking like, I said, yes. I said, I've been to college, more than one actually. I said, but that's nothing for me to brag about. I said, so if you want to brag about it, go right ahead. She thought she checked me. She thought she put me in my place with my ignorant A. I'm like, girl, bye.
You feel me? Okay. I've been working in the system as long as I was there, and I went to all of their educational facilities. I got that information. I even went to the what is that, William Tyndall School of Theology. So now we at a stage and point where what we were telling you all 30 and 40 years ago was wrong. Now you all are admitting it and saying, well, yeah, no, that Columbus didn't. So why are you all still teaching it in your secular system and in the schools districts?
This might be teachers on that, right? Why this? I be wanting people to use common sense sometimes, right? So when they know certain truth and facts, and they know things have been lied and this and that, they know that church and government go together. Church, government, same thing, same people, okay? Different branch. So church and government goes together. If the church is so profound and so God-fearing and so we love God and all this other stuff, why would y'all perpetuate lies? Why would there be so many things? Lying is a perfect sin, isn't it? Especially to the multitude of lies that they have put out. But if y'all so God-fearing, right? How could you be God-fearing and put out these multitude of lies? That immediately lets you know that the religion is a frock, like literally. We immediately we should know, oh, this is all government mandated. So how do we figure, how did that play? Oh, because that's more of a docile. Oh, they always talking about Jesus said turn the other cheek. Oh, that means forgive and forget. Just let them do what they want to us. Oh, all these things that make sense is to them. It's all to keep you stupid, an idiot, an imbecile, a child, a minor, a black in your damn mind where you're dead in your mind. Like literally, you don't need to live. You just need to let them live for you. And then you live through them. But it's the other way around, because they can only live through us. But they have you believing that they are in control of you. This is how deep this sorcery and shit goes. So for people to not even see that, it's like this, we know the church lies about stuff. They messing with children. That's like the epitome of everything. I mean, once people heard they were messing with children in the church, religion should have been out the door. I mean, I'm just saying, anybody religion says.
Okay.
I'm just tired of people being stupid. Y'all not that damn brain dead or zombies. Y'all ancestors really need to come and just take whatever energy from your ass so that they can keep usurping it, because y'all are waste like at this time. And I hope this don't sound nasty, but this is how I be feeling seriously. It's like people are so just continuing to want to be brain dead. There's too much information. There's too much fact. There's too much truth for people to continue to be walking zombies. Like seriously.
That part. The doctrine of discovery has already been rescinded. So that would mean that even not only the churches are no longer valid, the schools are no longer valid because they were founded under the church system. So all of them are invalid. At this point, we should not be in their school systems or in their school buildings or any type of anything that has to do with all of that. They're no longer valid, period. Why are the college, even here, the colleges are literally giving away education at this point, or their education, because we as a tribe are coming together and becoming aware of what's going on again. And those of us like you and I, we're not finna allow our children to be veiled or misled any further, any longer or any more. No,
it's a wrap.
Okay. Yes, the
Truly.
religions are cults. That's all. But then again, you got to look at, see, I study etymology. Cult is the
Yes.
root of culture. So even we have culture that they appropriated and took from us. So they saw us as a cult. That's where the term cult comes from. So we
Mm-hmm.
got to be careful with how we saying and using words. But yeah, F relying on they Gia.
Oh, yes. And like you said, the cult in relations to culture, right? People got to understand, like I was just saying, you know, it's the governance and religion, which is what? Two things you think of, those two words, what is indoctrinated, and then we have then right, and then we have the sorcery of the and the witchcraft that is done through religion. That's what's you. There's something that people got to see in that. See, the thing with religion is when sis say cult, it's sorcery, literally, because it's alchemy on the mind and the body and the spirit. Right. People, first off, you got to be a part of that. You initiate yourself to believe this and follow through and give the energy to it. So you're feeding it. It's like anything, like a plant you're growing, you know, you keep giving it water and putting it in the sun. It's getting energy for the growth. That's what you're doing when it comes to religion. You're the seed. They plant the seed and you're the one that has to either let it grow or you let it die. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So when you're continuing to do that and you're fighting against what you want to say is have your true self, you're outside of yourself, because now you're giving that energy somewhere else, and then now it's being cultivated, it's growing. You go to this place, people are like, oh no, I know religion is real. I felt it in church. And of course you did, my dear. First off, it may be on the ley line. Let's start there. Let's start with the frequency and the energy of that ley line person on. Then you got all these people coming in and everybody giving the energy because they just looking forward to it. They believe in it so much. When you believe, now anything that even is a lie has the energy to go toward that particular thing to manifest it. So now that's growing and growing and growing. Y'all all in there. Y'all sitting up there doing damn cultish behavior, like the sister said. Cultish behavior. When you're sitting up there and you're feeding into this sorcery and you're helping it grow, you're giving it that energy. So now it's strong. Yeah, it's powerful. Shit, you sitting around in there, who ain't gonna feel something?
Right, everybody got that energy and y'all all rotating it all through there. So yeah, you feeling something. I'm not even gonna say what type of spirit it is, but there's something in there roaming through there.
That part. It's just it's so much with that.
Yeah, we invoke spirit with words, with energy, with movements, with giving. Like she said, they'll put a seed down, and now we got to sit. We'll put a drop of water on it, or we, you know, and now that seed is planted and it's growing next to us, where everybody else is, or one person is coming by and saying, you need to remove that. You got a weed sitting over there growing, where other people behind you saying, no, give it a little bit more water, give it a little bit more water. You know what I'm saying? This is what we do over here. We do these weeds over here. And you got the one or two people saying you need to let that weed go. It's going to take over your whole garden.
That's right, sis.
You know, I'm using an analogy, but that's kind of how it works.
That's right.
A weed, see, plant it. Now it's growing, and now y'all anybody is acting silly and ridiculous, and common sense is no longer common because I got to have blind faith. No, pardon my language, snitch, blindness. Even God said, if I take your eyesight, he gonna heighten your other senses. So use the other senses so you can still see what you can't see with your eyes. I know I may be sounding a little bit rough, but it's just common sense. If it don't make sense, if it does not add up, math ain't math, and then it probably ain't so.
Right. Your mind should tell you when you just said that. But the first thing I thought, well, damn, when I see if from a young age, when you see a sentence of math, right? 1 + 2 = 4. Your mind say, oh, that shit's wrong. You see 1 + 1 = 2. You know, that's right. Like your mind, you know, your mind is the powerful subject here. You know, you can't be tricked when it comes to your mind. Somebody can tell you, no, that's the right answer. No, that's not the right answer. My mind, as soon as I looked at it, I knew it was wrong because my mind, you understand?
Okay. Yes. Which again, though, everything again starts in that quote unquote Cretan system that trickles down to the school system that also is in the politics system. So everything is run by this doctrine system, and nobody sees it. You got people that are saying, okay, well, I'm a Baptist and I'm a Protestant and I'm a whatever you all are.
That's
Now
right.
you got all these different people fighting for, you got a legion of people fighting for a, an impersonating government of defense, or whatever you want to consider that entity or energy, while those of us here are actually attached to nature and to land, us who we actually are, and y'all are calling us crazy and all conspiracy theorists and whatever and whatnot. Okay. And I'm looking at those of you that go to those churches and to these school buildings, do you all not realize that they got billions of dollars, yet they're having you pay for your education, your bring 10% into the church because we need to fund the church.
Girl, let me tell you a story, right? I might even tell two. No, I'm just telling one because both of them is crazy. Let me tell you a story about when I was so faithful in the church. I'm talking about going to prayer service, going to choir rehearsal, going to women's group, like literally playing my part, right? Me and my children every time, taking my nephews every Sunday, going grabbing them, making sure they get in church, make sure they got baptized, all of this, right? Girl, I had a fire at my house, right? When I tell you not one person, mind you, across the street, the woman that led one of the ministers of the church, a woman minister of the church, she's the one that led my women's group. They had a couple of different groups. So she's the leader of my women's group, lived right across the street from me, right? Tell me if you think I got a phone call from these damn people. Tell me if you think somebody called and said, do you need a pack of drawers for your kids' socks? Do you need a roll of tissue? Are you in a bed right now? I mean, literally like nothing. I was shocked. I was like, wait a minute. I just expected, to hear at least from her out of concern as a damn neighbor. you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Girl, didn't hear a word. Another time I went to, this is what really like showed me the greed of these people. I had a pastor. I had started going to the church just because I knew I was finna come into a little money, right? So I said, well, let me find a church just so I could do my little tithing. I ain't been really going to church, but I'm at least tied to somebody's church, because I still had a little of that in me. You know how we be. So I went to this church. I started going for a couple of weeks. It took like 2 months before, everything was finalized. So I said, I'm gonna get comfortable somewhere. So I got comfortable. Girl, I went and tithed, right? So I sent the check. I'm at work the next day on the Monday. I go on break because we couldn't have our phones on the floor. I go on a break, right? Look at my phone. I got like 20 missed calls. Everybody called me. I'm like, who the hell? Girl, my heart started thinking, oh, what happened? I'm thinking someone, one of my kids who called it, So I'm calling back. My homegirl, well, I call her first because the most recognizable number. I call her first. I'm like, girl, I'm getting all these calls. She was like, girl, oh, she was like, the pastor been calling and they need you to go to the bank or call the bank or something because they won't cash the check. They say it's too large and this and that and da 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 da. The bank probably was like, what the hell? Who are these people? A church time I come to get this amount of money. They a bank don't know, that I was tied or whatever, but they probably thinking like, damn, she never wrote no check like this before. You feel me? Girl, when I tell you these people called so many people to make sure that I got in touch with him, he was trying to get that check cashed Monday. Mind you, they was talking about they had a church building fund, this, and that. You could have waited the next Sunday to get at me about that. Like if it was that serious. You doing all of this on the Monday, the very next day. You couldn't even wait till I got off work, brother, to call me. Like real talk. I literally asked him, I said, I couldn't even understand. I said, I can't understand. I said, I was afraid that something happened to one of my kids after all these calls. I said, I work, Right. Oh, this, I just want, girl, let me know. I said, you know what? See, this is when I stopped playing right here. I was already teetering on the edge. This right here, and these people, I said, I can't do it no more. And that's when I started going into me and really studying and learning, and reading the Bible. And really, like I said, that's the same time I understood what the Bible was about, the history and all that. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. I've been wasting all these years. My poor mom, she died with all this in her heart. Lord, help.
Okay.
Girl.
How many ancestors have passed away talking about, oh, I got to do this right here so I can, when I get over there on the other side, I'm gonna live well when I get there. Okay, well, the other folk that's here though, they're the ones who gave you that impression of you
That's
got
right.
to be a humble on the ground person here while they up on high, and you servicing them while they living good here in this world, in this lifetime. You get to the next lifetime to realize that here you right back here doing it again because you ain't get it right the first time.
That's right. And why am I back here again? I hear people say that a lot. I don't know why I came back here. Well, shit, that's the whole thing. You better be finding out why. You better know why so that you don't come back the damn again.
Okay.
That part.
Yeah. Make it make sense. If the churches have, like you said, so my mother, before she passed away, same thing happened with her house. So she, I'm, me, well, not you, but I'm like, no, I'm not finna go to the church. You know what I'm saying? I walked away from them years ago. Well, fam, we need help, and it's her church, and she been putting in $100 a week for the past 30 years, and so they should be able to help. So I calculated that stuff up. I'm like, $30, $100 a week for 30 years. We talking $5,200 a year.
Times 30.
You know what I'm saying? So
just a thought. Devastating.
All they did was have a what do you call it? They had a dinner for, and they gathered up money from the church members. They came up with $132. And I looked at it and I said, this is what y'all got for my mother who has serviced you all 6 to 7 days a week for 30 years. I had to come sit up in this church with her 6 days out the week for usher board meeting, choir rehearsal, youth board meeting, a weekly, whatever those monthly meetings where all the churches came together. And this is all you all have for your community members. You cannot even help her where she doesn't have any food. And that's when I took my mother away from that building and I started taking care of her because that church was not going to do it. They've made it known multiple times. That's not what they are. They're a 501c3 organization. So first of all, they have to follow the government's ordered doctrine of what they give out to their community. If I hadn't gone to college, I wouldn't know any of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you sit down and ask a minister, why are you having your people do this when this is what's taught? And they tell you that I'll lose my flock and the money that come in if I do that. That's when I realized then, oh yeah, this is just a business.
Wait, hold on a second, sis. Amin Rain, I don't know if you dropped off, sweetie. I didn't drop you, so come back up. I don't know what happened. Go ahead, sis.
Like I was saying, it's a business, and people don't see that. They're not going to tell you that. Go in there, anybody, and just ask a minister, a deacon. Worship the word deacon. And then understand why they have a deacon's board.
Talk about it.
I'm just saying.
Look. Let's think about a mission in the missionaries board.
Okay.
And the
why
usher,
they have to wear white.
Yeah. The usher. Hold on. The usher has to what? Usher. Usher means ushering in information. They put me right in. They the first ones that greet you at the what? The door. And say, come on, have a seat, baby. Sit on down.
They take you to your seat and tell you where to sit. Okay.
Don't talk about it, girl. Don't talk about it.
Don't get mad. Okay. And this is what they did to our people by coming over here again, taking the Bible that they've changed. They took what we had in our records, made it theirs, and flipped the script on us. If we even just look back, these people came over here. They came over here on those slave ships at the bottom of them in the late 1800s, early 1900s. Not us. We were already here. We were not those Slavs that they want to give us the impression of. We had our own buildings, community colleges, and we had our own government.
They had three. Literally, since I've read on many of bills, but one particular recent one, it talked about actually how they did it. What you just said with your grandfather's land, changing the name and all of that, right? Now, I just was reading a book a couple of weeks ago, and it showed us how it said, yes, in the township, it said, they had the township, the 3 different ordinances, which was like the governor house. They had a house for the kids, a play yard, like a school. Yes. It was a school, but they said they referred to it different. They didn't even say anything about school, but it was a school, what we consider a school. And then they had the facility where they would meet, where the elders would meet to make the decisions for the governance and stuff. So they had the 3 townships. So now They would come in, and this is how they reconstruct. The last one that they had was 17-something when these people came in and colonized, and they reconstructed the building, built on it. And so now they are able to say this is founded in this time. This is where all these copyrights and things come into effect. That's why they created a lot of that stuff to be able to try to have the ownership or the creation of, because they have to have fake things to create because they know they're not able to create. We are the only creators. So they have to try to find ways to found it. When they say, oh, this was founded in this place, found, how can it be a founded thing? Even that word, when you think about it, a founded, how's it a founded nation? Founded means something that was it had to be in something previous and someone just ran upon it. You feel me? So,
yes.
So it's founded. How can it be yours? I mean, come on, people don't even use their common sense. And they do these things. To me, I think they do this to see how blind people are. Like I said, you know, an example of you look at 1 + 1, that's 2. 1 + 1 + 2, and they say 4, you automatically know, hell no. See, they do these things to us because they want to put it in your mind. When you see things like 3 times or more, it's in your mind. That's why when I read a lot, I'll say it 3 times. Sometimes I'll go back, let's hear that again. Let's hear that again. Because now it's embedded. It's embedded in your mind when you hear it that 3rd time. So if they repetitively, right, have functions of lies that are always just thrown at you, it's like you're a radio and you're pulling in the information. Those frequencies are coming in, that headset, the earplugs people always wear. I've never wear those shits. I don't even want to get into that. I did a whole build on that a while back, but that shit is damage to your brain. People don't know it. They got our people walking around with this shit. But either way, that it's these frequencies that are coming in. When these frequencies are coming in, it's hitting your brain. It's literally writing the information onto your brain. Brain mapping. Look it up. Anybody. Look up what is brain mapping. And y'all in this shit every day, all day. Because this is what they do. They have plans and plots to continue to do this. It's feeding you. It's breeding a false sense of reality to you so that you're continuing to be maintained in the matrix that they have set up for you.
There you go. And once we realize that this is a matrix, that's when we can come out of it. Unplug, just like Neo did.
That's the only time you can come out, when you know. When you
don't know, you still in that the one character in the Matrix where he just kept saying, no, I want to keep eating my steak and enjoying this rich life.
That's right.
Because if he'd have come out of the Matrix, he would have lost all of that and he would have seen what reality actually were.
That's right.
A lot of people choose to not accept reality. Now, I'm going to take the Bible that some people thump with and I'll use it and give it to you. God said, study to show thyself approved, thus saith the law. So if you don't study and know that what's right is wrong and what's wrong is right, are you really giving reverence to your quote unquote God or creator?
And that's part of the law, sis. Let me say something on that since you brought that up real quick. Study to show yourself approved. I just showed the bill to the people, letting them see on the credit in one of the creditors' books. When you hear that statement, it's literally talking about you approving yourself in law and understanding and being self-obtained and being able to self-govern and able to be the ruler of yourself, right? This is what study to be approved, because now you are able to operate proficiently in your status of credit that you are born with, sis. That's a profound statement. People don't even know it. It literally means that, sis. I just read it in the book a couple of weeks ago. So people could see, like, I'm not just saying this. It explained exactly what I said in their words, telling you it said to be approved of the credit. It literally went into the whole deal, sis. This is real life right now. People don't even understand that history, the law, the ecclesiastical law, all of these things are pertaining to like the law that's affecting you now because they have the fake governance over your mind. And this is why today we're going to get into, well, I don't get into that with the private thing, but there's so many things we got to really understand that's important to do like now. There's like no time like the present, right?
That's right. If not now, when? And if not us, who?
It is a gift, right? No time like the present. The present is a gift. There's no gift better than the present. So if you don't take advantage of that, something is wrong. So you giving away gifts.
Okay. Hey, all right. I'm gonna say, if you say it, I'm gonna roll with what you're saying. Okay.
I mean, think about it, sis. I mean, just in what it says. And that's a very prominent thing. There's no time like the present. There's no time like the present. What is a present? Present, present, something that's presented to you You know, and that's like right now, this moment in time, because really there's no such thing as time. That's just another fallacy, but we use that word. But there's no time like the present, something that's even absent before that present. So there's no time like the present. There's no time. You hear it, sis, right? Listen.
Okay.
I'm gonna make sure you hear me. There's no time. Pause. Go ahead.
Yep, there you go. Pause right there, and then continue.
Like the present. Do you listen? I'm gonna break it down even further for those in the back. I'm sorry, sis. I don't want to keep going, but I got to. I want people to really see this shit. There is no time. There's no time. First off, there's no time. Like the present. The present is what? The moment you're in, right? This very freaking moment of energy and life and light. There's no time like it. There's no time like it. There's no such thing as time. There's no time like the present. Present is the only time. There's only this moment, the moment that you're living it. Yo, I ain't gonna start preaching because I know it's Sunday, but hold on. Don't let the minister get to you. But that can happen too. I do have a minister's license as well. Sis.
Okay. That's what I was just gonna say. Don't stop the flow. When you got to bring a message on Sunday, then that's what it is. This is just Sunday cooking.
Okay, you're right, sis. Okay, look, this was supposed to be sis. This was supposed to be a 30-minute bill, just so people could get the link for the private bill for later, where all this is supposed to be.
My apologies, I didn't.
Oh no, don't, because you know things happen the way they're supposed to, baby. You know, I do. I don't know if you know, sis. I do things however. I can have a live setup. I might change that shit 4 times, and then I might end and go to something else. You know what I'm saying? So I do what whatever the moment, just in what I said. What I live in the moment, sis. I cannot worry and stress myself on my life about tomorrow. I can't worry about, I of course you plan for, making sure you're adjusted for whatever, but that's not prominent to me. I'm not a people who you got to plan your future. You got to plan for what the hell you're doing now. When you plan for what you're doing now, then that future is going to follow. Shit, it has no choice because you're now manifesting. You're putting Yo, listen, sis, I'm telling you, we just got to do so much different. Our people oh my God.
Yeah, our people lack. Our people lack for. Okay, I'm not even gonna go there, but yes, I agree with you. Yes, if we don't,
I love my people,
now,
but man, get out of this.
When do we do it? And if it ain't us, who gonna do it?
Mm-hmm.
The time is now, because time does not exist. Time has not existed where man has not. So therefore, again, the time is now. Tomorrow never comes. Today is always here. Right now is always here. So Creator.
Even this, I'm sorry, this just popped in my head. Not interrupt me. I gotta say before I go. Listen, just like they'll tell you there's no such thing as what they call it, what do you say when they say you die and you come back or something? What's that?
Reincarnation.
Thank you, sis. Reincarnation. People say, oh, there's no such thing as reincarnation. Well, shit, I'm a fucking product of reincarnation. What are you even talking about? Okay. Every cell within me came from ancestors about 20 back and some. I can't even count it because they just kept going and flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing and flowing because see, it didn't go anywhere. The cells and the energy and everything that spirit from my ancestors is within those cells that actually breeded the line that I came from. And we talking about both lines, my dad line, my mama line. So now all of their regeneration of energy has come through those cells because cells are energy. They're not a physical thing. We might think we're looking at some physical shit, but it's not physical. So those cells are energy, right? They're particles of energy that have come from our ancestors that have accumulated and made us who we are, right? So they're inside of us. Each stem cell holds those information. Each woman, when we're born in our womb, I tell people this all the time and have a clear understanding. You are born with those ancestors' seeds and cells inside of you. Every woman that is born, that baby has those eggs inside of her womb at birth, the first day she is born. They have come down and those eggs have been passed down generation after generation after generation. The same freaking eggs, y'all. Do y'all understand how deep that shit is? Like seriously, this is how powerful we are. And mind you, just so you know, if you didn't know, the ionic womb that is connected kinetically to the soil of this planet, right, is the only womb that has that. That's what makes you so special. That's what makes you so hated, because you're the only one that really got that. In the other womb, right, It is artificially. It's a mutation. It's a mutated. It is not kinetically connected to this soil. This is why you have the power. This is why you have the energy, because you are what? Nine ether beings, because we connect what? Through our carbon emissions that actually feeds the planet, and the planet grows off us. So you're giving the energy to the planet. It's taking on you and you're taking on it. So no matter how much these people come and try to say they have taken over your place, you know, your soul, your this, your that, blah, blah, blah. That's not really actually possible, because how could you? Like, unless you're taking over me. Oh, this is your plot and plan for dehumanizing and taking over the indigenous people of the land, so that you can assume that power and that energy, because what? They gave it to you. They allowed you to have it. They allowed you to take it, because they're not stepping up and doing what the hell they need to do mentally, spiritually, and coming to the right place so they can stand on what they're supposed to do. Their ancestors, because who? They the warriors inside them. They the warriors that's like, damn, you need to be doing shit. You be like, oh, no, I don't want to do that because that's too much. Oh, that just sounds like it's fake. Oh, that's just, well, damn, they brought the information to you. What more can they do? They can't put it in your hand. Like, I mean, girl. Let me just stop right here.
Okay, yeah. Think about this. When have you ever not known you to be here? Just in thought pattern. Have you ever, have your thoughts ever not been here? I can think back now and I'm just, no, I don't recall ever not being here. This is nothing but an avatar that we manifest, which comes from that, the mitochondria from the mother. Again, like you said, imagine how many eggs are sitting inside of me right now, and inside of those eggs are eggs, and inside of those eggs are and those eggs are eggs, and those eggs are eggs, and inside of those eggs are eggs, and inside of those, so on and so on and so
multitude universe. This is why I tell people, says you have universe. We have literal universes. Each one of your cells are literally a universe in itself. That one little cell.
Yes. So technically we walking around with multiverses in us.
Yes, we are the multiverse, baby. Say it. We are the multiverse.
Okay. The first, when we're born, who is the first person that we see or know would be the unspoken name of God. That's the term that they don't want anybody to know. Your first creator, your mother, that's the first person we listen to. The first, when a child could, you can look at your child and they're, okay, you know what I'm saying? That's that the look. That's that control, that power that we as divine manifestations of God in the flesh form hold and carry on. Don't get me wrong, men are we don't do anything without them. Yet
men are, sis, let me touch on that since you said that we don't do anything without them. Okay, men are here. This is the problem too. You know how we were saying earlier how the patriarch and the matriarch got switched to up and down, right? They are like, oh, we're the one, you know, the man's supposed to rule. We're in the hold on, baby. Hold on, slow down. Not that. You are here to serve and protect. That their literal job, they don't even know it. And I'm gonna put it out there. You know, it's so much hate from the male side of the community against me per se, so I can speak on it indefinitely because they don't even see and understand the power of the womb, and it's so sad. I really be feeling sorry for them. But when it comes to it, they are here to serve and protect us, right? Because we are the kinetically tied to this soil beings that can actually produce the energy that needs to be on this planet to actually put it into balance, right? So when it comes to that, what the men are supposed to do is have our back. I literally just spoke to a brother the other day, and we were talking about this, and he was saying how, oh yes, sister. He was like, he said, I make sure I take care of my wife. She ain't got to work. She ain't never had to work, and I'm gonna do everything I do to make sure that she is protected. I said, yeah, brother, that's what it is. Because see, that's their job. That they think that protecting the woman and being a service to her makes them weak. Not understanding they have to uplift her so that the womb and the power in the womb has that light load and nothing else to worry about to focus on what's important, this planet and us and what we're supposed to be doing. And only the women gonna be able to do it. This is what's sad, you know, but the men have them thinking that they got the power and the control and they are not able to step into what is theirs, which is the matriarchal role and actually be able to stand it because they don't understand this. The women don't understand the matriarchal role. You know, you can try to help them and show them and assist them into getting into it, but a lot of times they're still even stuck, even if they're woke, you know, a lot of times. So we got to really be careful and understand the role of a man, like literally. Y'all have the hard body and, you know, the stamina, you know, all of these things to do what? To assist to the woman, to take care of the hard things, to, you know, to handle the things that, you know, her delicate body can't. Be there to protect her, to make sure she's not harmed, you know, things of this nature. You know, it's simple. So that's just my opinion. I'm sorry, sis, but go ahead.
So that's cool. Let me tap on that. I want to tap in on that. So protect and serve. First of all, we know that the wrong group of people have that terminology that they're using that. So now let's bring it back in. We as women, if we don't protect and serve our men, how can they protect and serve us?
That's right. We got a job too. You better know how to do it right. That's where the role sits. That's why I said it's very important. The women have to know what their matriarchal role is.
Okay.
And when they know that and they're standing in that, and they're able to push that energy around in the household with their mate, with their family, then that man should be able to take that responsibility. Sometimes they get scared. They don't know how.
And
you know,
we as the matriarch have to, first of all, here. Okay, before others came here, we as matriarchs, we wrote the laws, and then the men enforced the laws. It has always been that way. Others came and they flipped it to where they made it patriarchy, where they're writing laws, they're enforcing laws. There's no female entity or energy anywhere in anything. This is how it is supposed to be. One cannot be without the other. You can't produce without the other. It is what it is. Woman has her position. I'm not saying that we have to be the sewers or the cookers. Whatever you're good at and what you bring to the table in your community, that's what you do. And your mate, your partner, what they're good at, that's what they do. And y'all bring that together for the household, for the better good of the tribe. And once one household has that, now the next household has to do that. That's where the first quote unquote gods are. Your mom and dad are the first God that you have to follow rule of. Then we go out into the community. When they came and they took our men and left only woman and child and made it seem like that we had to depend on the quote unquote government, whatever, to survive, that was them removing our men from us. And the start of our men losing their zeal or zest for what their purpose and why they're here. If they get left out there, and then now you've got children that are only being raised by women, and women not recognizing that once that boy gets to the stage of where he needs to be with a man, we have to let him be with a man. Because only a man can show a boy how to be a man. I can tell a boy all day long how I want a man to be. This is what I want in a man. This is what I want. That don't mean that he's going to be that. A man has to show him how to be a man. And we as women got to step back and let men show these boys how to be that. Then we don't have transformers running around here. No offense.
But they have to be the actual man. A lot of times when people say a man, you know, it's just like, oh, it's just a title. You have to be able to have that title and stand in that title. And that's the problem with the men. Like Sis said, many men have dropped the ball. Uncle Sam picked it up, and now half the women think we don't need men anymore. That is what's going on a lot of times. It's because what happened? The men dropped the ball. They let police or policies come in and enforce things on them in their household instead of picking up the role. Me and my sister was talking about this yesterday. They are talking about, oh, the women, the government put the men out of the women's household. Hell no, the men, the government ain't do shit. I said, no, what they did was these weak men, they abandoned their role. You feel me? What they decided to do is say, oh, shoot, well, let me just back out then because I don't want to take the responsibility. I ain't finna be paying all these bills and stuff just so she could take care of the kids, even though I just helped to make them. And, you know, she got these kids, but I ain't gonna be a part of that. I'm gonna let the government take care of them and I'll just step out the household. That was their abandonment shit. The government ain't did nothing. They don't have no control other than the control you give them. So our men have not done what they're supposed to do. They had these policing things coming in because what? We don't have the neighborhood is not being protected correctly. So now they got these policy enforcers coming in to enforce the policies and directives and statutes that they have created that are not laws, but they're only policies that fit the situation of that corporation of that state, right? The business that they're operating. And the men aren't stepping into their role to protect our neighborhoods and things, our communities. They can't even protect the damn women. Shit, they'll laugh and shit. They might see a woman get slapped down. Half of them might laugh and think the shit was funny. This is how bad it is. Like real talk. I have been cursed out on the panel before, right? Called all kind of B's, H's, wenches, this, and that. The men laughing, giggling, they think the shit cute. Like, damn, not one person was like, yo, bro, that was way out of hand. I know you felt how you felt. Maybe you ain't mean to get out of pocket, but I'm going to just say that was out of hand. Not one brother. A whole panel of niggas. Like, the shit is so... Yo, listen, when I tell you, I don't even believe the world that people choose to want to be in and think this shit is reality. I don't even believe it half the time. I know what it is, so I be looking at it, and I move through the shit because I know how it is. But it's just so absurd, the way our people are blinded in their mind to not have the sense to say, well, damn, I can control this situation. I can take control of this. I can take control of this. I can do this. I can do that. You don't even think what you could do. I can. You don't think you can do any damn thing because you want to fall under the assumption of what somebody put in your head that you're nothing. You're nobody. You're a slave. You came from nothing. You ain't got no power. You ain't got no energy. They keep contaminating everything around you, everything that's natural, but you don't have enough sense to purify yourself continuously. I'm just saying this. I don't know what you think about that.
You got a point. So I agree with you to a point. Back in the 50s and 60s, they removed a lot of the elders that had an impact on the youth. They put them and locked them up, so they no longer have the elders to give them the direction that they need, the male influences that they needed. You know what I'm saying? You got even female, though they were also removed. So these are products of a systemic breakdown. They did this on purpose by starting way back then in the 50s and saying, okay, well, if the husband or the man moves out of the house, we'll give you this money. So a lot of families chose to say, okay, well, a lot of men, let me not.
They abandoned their role. They took the easy way out. Weak-minded. Yes, we're going to, sister, because I ain't gonna let you deter nowhere else. They abandoned their role, right? They were weak and they didn't decide to step up, do what they needed to do to take care of their family, one way or another, sis.
I agree with you. I agree. I'm just saying that was the start. And that was the seed that was planted. And now you've got this residual, the domino effect. And that's where we at now, where you got boys that are out here making babies and, well, I ain't got to do nothing because they can go get on aid. A systemic domino effect of putting us or having us in this situation to where the men or the boys feel like they don't have any value or they don't bring anything to the table or they can be out here by themselves or we can't do nothing without each other. I can't procreate without that sperm and you can't procreate without my egg. You feel what I'm saying? So
that part says
there's nothing
well, no, you and I are doing. We're not going to say that. We're not going to say that because I can go into 2 or 3 bills about that. That's not actually true per se. As far as like we can't conceive without a male, that's not true. Sis.
Okay, now I will say that because does exist. We know that. Okay, I'm saying that in context. I just try to think. In the context of what we're speaking on. You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by.
Okay, go ahead, sis. I'm sorry. You know me, honey. I have to be very factual and I make sure I want my people to stay clear in their mind at all times. So when saying stuff, I want to just affirm the fact on what we speaking. You know what I'm saying? Either way, keep that context where they got it because we don't want to get nobody lost. And we want to make sure we keep building their mind and knocking down the walls in the damn maze of confusion, bust down them portals so that light can open and they can see. I see the light now. Okay. I'm sorry.
But you're right, though. You're right. Yes. We know those of us that study science, we know that we as women can produce because we start off as that X You know what I'm saying? And the fallen angels, they lose that one, and
That's
now they're
right.
the, you know what I'm saying? I just had a build on that the past couple weeks ago,
You got
talking
a
about.
channel, sis?
Yes, I got two channels. I got one for the children, and then I have my own channel where I do adult builds. And the
Oh, so
past
make sure
3
you
weeks.
send me your channel. I didn't know you had a channel.
Okay,
But go
yeah,
ahead.
definitely. Because we were talking about men in the temple the past 3 weeks, and the position that men. That's why it was interesting that you brought this up today. I'm like, we just did the last one last night, talking about our positions, their positions, and how we, supposed to be out here in our community with the tribe. Yeah, we know that we can produce without them. I'm not gonna, try and sugarcoat that at all. Yeah, because it's been done before. Do I need you? I do, because
Mm.
you're made masculine for a reason. You lost that leg for a reason, or the extra, the extra mitochondrial, the X off the leg off of the X. You lost it for a reason. You They had to remove a lot of that feminine energy out of you to give more of the masculine energy into you, so that we could have that protection we need, the comfort that we need. Imagine what hell, I know I love to be around a man, and he gives me a hug and I feel secure. I feel safe. I don't even I can he, my husband can be across the room, and I'm okay with that, because I know if I get up and make a move, he watches me. He knows where I'm going. I'm not worried about nothing. If somebody come after me, I know he finna come jump across the room. That type of feeling. It's nothing like it in the world, in the universe, in the metaverse.
Mm.
Yeah, so they removed that male energy so that we would not have that
That's
security
right.
anymore.
Sis, come up, please, for a quick second. You don't got to stay up. I just want to ask you about that. I want you to speak on that. Now, that shit sounds crazy as hell. Hold up. No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I'm saying, hold on. 10, sis, she said the 10. Now, I could understand if you know how they'll be like, oh, they're grown, they're 18, or, something of the sort. And maybe they don't want adults, but 10? Hold on, sis. Come here. I want to hear this story. This sounds like some bullshit for real. They done lost their effing mind. But see, this is what they do. Oh, no, not 10 years old. Hold on, sis. Maybe he was 18. He could have been 17, 18, because, depending on where you are, they consider you adult. She said he was in 10th grade. I think I misread it. Okay, sis, I got it. So he probably was an adult. Hey, he's an adult.
Oh, okay,
Get out the house. Get out the house now. You're an adult. You're an adult. Yeah, that type of shit.
And they force that, they push that. Even now,
Even
the
then.
children, the children are amped and angry. They're gung ho. As soon as I hit 18, I'm out of here. I ain't got to be around your rules no more. None of this, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I got 14, 15 young youth coming up to me saying, I wasn't ready. Mama Sharice, I wasn't ready. What can I do about this? How do I do that? So why
Sis,
are we
put your link.
putting
I'm
our
sorry.
children out when they
Put your
don't need to be out?
Put your links in the back chat system when you get a second. But yeah,
Okay.
exactly, because like you said, that they have to remove that energy. They don't want you to have that protection. They want you to be vulnerable. See, the whole thing in the system is keeping you vulnerable. Vulnerability, docileness, when you're in these states, being brainwashed and allowing these people to continue to have you brainwashed. When you're in these states, right? This is what's going on at that particular time, so we just got to understand that they want you to be at your least vulnerable state.
Right. And that gives them the upper hand.
That's right. Now they can continue to control, deceive you, do whatever they need to do.
Now you got these children that'll leave because they can be emancipated at 14 now. When
At
they get
14? I thought it was
yes,
16.
So I went through an issue with my child, my oldest daughter, or my oldest. She'll be 32 soon.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking maybe 15 years ago. I had an ordeal with the system where she was being influenced by those outside, and me being me, I don't deal with the system. Well, they come in and they use her brain. They get her to manipulate her and had her file for amnesty from me. I fought. Then you go and you sit in these rooms instead of going into their courtroom. You go into the judge's quarters, and they're telling you do this as such, that way there's no issues. When you've got an entire group of church people that are also in the politics area, and they're manipulating. So I had her, I didn't lose her, but she left out of my care and went into the system's care. So to avoid her going to a foster home, I asked my mother to let her come with her. So that's where she went. She was still getting manipulated, and to this day, she, even behind that situation, she's still very hurt and feels like I abandoned her, which is a very painful situation for any child to have to deal with and grow up thinking like this, because the system says that your parent has to stay 600 feet away from you. Shenanigans from the system. Again, how do we put so much accreditation on a system that is set up to remove children from the families, and then put them in a position where they want them to have more children of their own, and now they're in the system, and then their children have now become wards of the system, and it's just a perpetual domino effect.
Nope. No bad thing. No, they couldn't have did shit if she was in the right status. Exactly.
That part. If I had been incorrect, let me rephrase that. If I had not listened to others tell me what to do and I chose to do my own thing, I wouldn't be in that situation.
That's
but I
right.
was giving credence to a Cretan church system, feeling like they knew more than I did when I should have paid attention to my own internal
intuition.
Okay. If I had gone into myself instead of out to someone else, wouldn't be in this situation. And now I'm dealing with a child that is, scorned and torn because they didn't get the benefit of the nurture from me. You know what I'm saying? And now that's these are domino effects. Now imagine that's just this situation. Think about in the 50s when this happened with big families, and I dealt with and heard my aunts and uncles complaining about how the households were broken up. My grandfather never gave up. Now my aunts and my uncles, did they appropriate into that type of thing? They did. They listened to the system and tried to, or did appropriate into it. Okay. Which is why the families are as broken as they are now. You've got half that are Cretan and half that are quote unquote woke. Some that want to go into the church, or well, we've been doing this our entire lives. Why would we want to, go against what our grandparents did? Okay, well, because our grandparents didn't do that. They were appropriated into that.
That's right.
If we just pay attention. My second child here is completely homeschooled. I attempted at giving him quote unquote socialization skills. It didn't work because the system made him reverse. He started not being a social butterfly anymore. And that's what they're designed to do. That's when I saw for firsthand, they're designed to separate the families. They will remove the male energy out of any family system. And that's not and it's not acceptable because that leaves the female energy to do everything. Where is that? Where is the balance? There is no balance. There is no weighing a feather to a heart at that point, because your heart ain't in it at that point. You just trying to get money for every ward that you can put on that paper and say that you have control over.
That's true.
Ooh, I digress because I didn't got warm.
Okay. Listen, I'm definitely I've dropped the link. You guys grab the link for the private it'll be available to members still though, because once the stream is done, I'm going to switch it to members only. So members, you'll still be able to go back and watch the stream, get information from it, so on and so forth. But anybody will be able to join. It is no pay-per-view charge, but it's going to be some important information I'm going to get back to in a second. I was going to show you guys a little bit of it because I want you to understand some things. like how these people, like, you know, they document everything. First off, let me show y'all a little bit of this real quick. They document everything first off, right? So that they can keep a record to record it. And then when you record things, you know, when you write things down, so on and so forth too, it also keeps it, you know, prominent, or makes it have a, where is it at? A manifestation as to what the person, you know, wants it to be, or, you know, so on and so forth. So it helps them with that. But yeah, let me show you guys this real quick. This document that we will be going over as well. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let's see. Can you see that, sis, or read it if you're looking on the screen?
I don't see. It's still okay. Yes, I
small.
got it.
Is it very small?
No, it's clear.
Oh, okay, great. You know, my end, it looks fine over here, but okay, so we're going to be going over, this is one of the things we'll be going over. There's a couple of things we're going to go over, but this is what you need to know. Our falsified history and other forms of cultural Marxist and multiculturalist propaganda. Now, I speak to you guys a lot about propaganda, you know, and the confliction of these lies. You guys know, because anybody that's been on my channel, you guys know when we read the books, I'm showing you in the books the information that describes them, you know, everything. It's like I said, their documentation, you know, our proof of they shit. You know, we go over this stuff all the time. So this here is like really outline. We definitely won't be able to go over this whole book. This is over 1,500 pages. I'm going to say that first off. So we won't be going over the whole book. I'll say that. But just so you know, these are a few of the things we'll browse through. I'll read some of it. I'm not sure what. Depending on you guys' participation, you know, if there's something that you want to get into, we may read some of that particular part, because there'll be a few things we'll be going over. These are some very important topics. So, you know, you guys can browse them real quick, you know, think of, you know, a couple of things. I'll ask for, you know, who wants me to go over a particular thing, you know, but we can start at the beginning, so on and so forth. It goes all the way into the aftermath of the Crusades, Islamic science of the religion, how it started, how, you know, what they did, the usurping of the lands. Like they literally have all this shit documented in this document. How the feminist war, how the feminist war against boys paved the way to Islam. You know, which is a big part of a lot of the cultural stuff that we are going through right now, whether y'all believe it or not. Islam is like really over Catholics, so-called religion. All of that stuff is done though, you know, basically, you know, just to verify that, you know, from the doctrine of discovery and what's going on with that. But yeah, this right here, y'all, when I go over some of this stuff, y'all are not gonna believe it. Y'all won't believe like how these people just blatantly, I mean, this document isn't just like out there, you know, a person to have to know and find the document. Let's start there. But the fact that they even document their shit like this, and if anybody do find it or have a way to know about it, they can look at it and see y'all, everything y'all have done, outlined very clearly, precisely. Look, it's crazy. Y'all won't even believe it. Y'all won't even believe it. Wait till this afternoon when I tell y'all, y'all see it. I ain't gonna stop to keep reading stuff, but I just want y'all to see. Look, this. It's so much in here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what I want to share with them. You know, I haven't looked at this document in a while, so I hate when I can't remember particular points that I found important. Sometimes I take notes, sometimes I don't. I got so many damn books, I get tired. Shit, I don't even know what's in what books. You know, that's really how bad it is right now. I really need, and I'm when I say I'm very organized, I'm organized. But I have a hard time because all of the, you know, information, it just be so much, especially over years and years and years. And then when you look at stuff and then you bring in other information into it, and, you know, I'm finding other things, it's like, it's just too much. But look at this, not edited, under construction. I might start with this one. I do remember this being very interesting. But yeah, so this is one of the documents, guys, that we'll be going over. When I tell y'all, it's just so much information, it's crazy. A dying European empire lacked monocultural ethnocentrism, right, results in the breakdown of the social cohesion and the objectives of the conservative revolutionary movements under construction and not edited. The whole thing is not, everything in here is like straight to the point. That's why it's over 1,500 pages. Like, for real. But yeah, I want you guys to see that. Make sure y'all tune in. Like I said, you'll be able to watch it, you know, when if you have the link. After the build, it will definitely be switched to members only, so you won't be able to like revisit it. So please try to make sure you guys are tuning in. I'm also, let me show y'all a little bit of this one too. I'm also going to be showing y'all one more thing before we get up out of here, because I just love these pictures. Yeah, let's do this.
I'm gonna go on and pull myself out while you're going and showing this. So
all right, sweetheart. Have a great one, sweetheart. I appreciate you coming up. We'll chat. Thanks for sharing with us. Okay, babe. Peace. So yes, guys, let's go. Here's a few of the pics. And this one thing I want to show you. I know a lot of these pictures you guys have seen, but there's a story with this that we'll be reading. Just not a story, some information on these pics that goes with this. It is not a book, but just some things. And with this information, there's another book. There is a book that we'll be going over that relates to some of this. If you guys have been on my community page, you have seen where I put the information of the Grand Canyon. And as far as the Grand Canyon being connected and having the portals, there are different portals in the Grand Canyon, guys, that go to different areas. This Ethiopian land being a part of that, you know, where they try to say Africa, like it's something separate. Y'all go back to Africa. Well, shit, we in damn Africa, if you want to call it that. That's just the name of, you know, some of this fake ass story shit y'all went through. We don't even get to right now, but you know, the Africa is literally here, what y'all would consider Africa. You know, it wasn't called that then. It's Ethiopian land that was a part of that you can actually like reach through the Grand Canyon into that whole area and other areas in Asia. Like, we won't even get into that right now, but y'all, like, it's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna definitely look at some important pertinent information so you guys can tie and see some things. You know, when y'all see people hear about the Kemet and Egyptian stuff, they're like, oh, that ain't our people. Listen, Egypt was here, y'all, right in Memphis, Tennessee, and other areas as well. When you think of Egypt, that's just the title too. We'll get into etymology of that possibly today if I have time, but it's just a title, you know, just like Negro land, you know, certain things you hear, like these titles, you know, that have been conflicted to contort your mind from realities of certain things. I like this picture too. Let me go back to it real quick. I love this picture. Y'all see them dreads? Yeah, so many of our men wear this. I love that too. I like the, what do you call it? Goatee. I like the little goatee. I like the goatee. I like the goatee. Here we go. Man, woman, and child. Look at that. Look at that sun. Look at that sun. The light bearer. Literally. Oh, let me go back so y'all can see that. I flashed through that one real quick. All the people in Egypt. Y'all see them afros. Y'all see them afros. They ain't got no peasy head. They got afros. So yeah, we're going to enjoy this build. Everybody that come in, y'all better make sure you're all there. I'm just going to say that. It's definitely going to be fire. And yeah, that's all I can say. Let me go back to my chat, check everybody that came in the chat. I appreciate you guys coming in. Y'all know this was supposed to be a 30-minute build. I literally let y'all know that because I'm doing this build at 1 in 2 hours. I had some other stuff to do, which I'm going to be rushing through now, but the sister came up, shared some important information about her family. She's so appreciated, you know, as far as that, and being able to get some information out to confirm the things that we already know. You know, the people taking over our land, changing the names, stealing your names, moving the letters, all that crap, you know, misnomers of lies and fiction and, you know, all of that stuff. So with that, we are in a prospect of, you know, having more and more truth. You know, that's just the light that's in us. Right. Let's see. All right, guys, what we're going to do is get ready. Did I want to play? Oh, I did say I was going to play one more video on the way out. And this will lead us out, guys. So peace, love, and bliss to all. I will see you guys at 1. Give me a second. This is one of my favorite ones. I'm going to play this one real quick. This is another one that's a good one. It's hilarious. Okay, we're going to play this on the way out, and I will see everyone that tunes in to the private bill at 1. Until then, hold on, let me share the screen. Until then, my loves, I will talk with you guys then, okay? Let's go.
That's Africa. I know that. That's right. That's Africa. But did you know that Africa is the place where the body of the first man was found? My daddy says that makes it the place where all people originated from. That means everybody's really from Africa. Everybody. All y'all.
Africa is not our home.
What fool stuff's that you're talking about? That's African. I ain't no African. I'm American.
Like it or not, you're from Africa.
I said at this gathering of the masters, Africa is not your home. It's not our home. But I know my roots. And I ain't Kunta Kinte.
A woman knows. When you feel it, a woman knows. I ain't wrong. These results are going to determine everything today.
Really?
Oh, the lie detector determined that was a lie.
When
I was reading to prepare for this interview, I was quite surprised to see you use the word Aborigines talking about African Americans.
Talk about race relations issues, things like that. I mean, I have a freedom that a lot of people don't have because of that.
Because you used the word Aborigine.
Because I've been through the fire.
I mean, you get politically correct. Stuff happens that you don't want to happen. I all of a sudden became an African. Correctness, African American. I'm not African. I'm American.
I'm tired of being labeled. I'm an American. I'm not an African American. I'm an American.
I'm not African. I'm an American. Born and raised. And as soon as you hyphenate it, it means I'm not a full American. I'm not really an American. You know. And it also means that other people can say, go back to your country. No, baby. This is my country.
I'm Chuck Berry.
Would you welcome Mr. Chuck Berry?
Get down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans.
Let me see some ID. ID. This license says you're Indian.
Clues to the identity of the first Americans are emerging in rock shelters in the northeast and southeast of Brazil. And this is the oldest of them all, the skull of a young woman nicknamed Luthia by scientists. Can she tell us who the first Americans were? Walter Neves is a physical anthropologist at Sao Paulo University in Brazil. He has been using a standard and reliable archaeological measure, the shape of the skull, to find out what race she belonged to. He fully expected Luthia to be a Mongol.
Give me a second, sis, when it's done. I got you.
Indians. But then he fed the measurements into the computer.
When we started running the computer and seeing the results, it was amazing because we realized that the statistics, the quantitative analysis we were doing was not showing just people to be Mongoloid. In fact, the analysis was showing these people was anything except Mongoloid.
So who was Luthia? And where did she come from? The skull was taken to a hospital in Rio de Janeiro to begin the process of reconstructing her face.
That to me is a Negroid face that has all the features that you associate with a Negroid face. The proportions of the face, it doesn't say anything about it being a Mongoloid.
Her reconstruction is confirmed by measurements Walter Nevis has taken of all his skulls.
The first reaction was not to believe in it. But as the results, repeated so many times, and the result is exactly the same thing. They are very similar to nowadays Aborigines and Africans, and no similarity at all with Mongoloids in Asia or with American Indians.
If you look at pictures from the 1900s and beyond, most of the Native American people were very dark-skinned. Sometimes they were very jet black. But most Native American people before 1900, if you look at photos of them, they're extremely dark-skinned people.
Okay, real quick, sis, give me a second, babe, because I know you came up here to say something, so we're going to finish the video out, but I just wanted to read this section of this right here if you guys can't read. I know it's kind of small, so let me read this to you guys. It says, remarks on Sierra Leone, right? It says that I shall add another reflection of public utility. Public utility. I talk to you guys about public utilities all the time. Ironic. It says the blacks are a kind of men destined by nature to inhabit Africa and America. Oh, two separate people in two different lands. Even though that name Africa was renamed, maybe when they thought they founded it. What do we say about founded, right? Okay. She has created from them for burning regions. Let us therefore take care not to oppose her views or overthrow the barriers which she has established, but let us preserve their races in their natural purity. Oh my gosh, if they would allow us to do so. Let us reserve their nations in their natural purity and not permit the Negroes to inhabit Europe. This mixture of black and white is dangerous to our population, and in time it may change, corrupt, and even destroy. Well, shit, it did do it, because who? The Etruscan Moors. The Etruscans are the ones that came and invaded and took over their whole damn shit, right? Production of the banks of Sierra Leone, accounts of the people and their form of government. Oh, they had a form of government before these people invaded. You don't say. Same thing that happened here, right? With some particulars of their manners and customs, both civil and military, ceremonies, the attending circumcision, and laws of the different tribes, privilege of the kings with respect to their successions, accounts of the Pura, and a sort of secret tribunal, Okay. The effect of commerce upon the Negroes in the character of their women. This is from Remarks on Sierra Leone. I won't be reading this today, but I might get into it another time. We did read, not this particular book, but some of the information on that. But yeah, let's finish this video out. It only has a few more moments.
In the late 1800s, there was something called the Dawes Rolls, which was basically a census that made records of people's ethnic backgrounds in order to determine which Native American tribes would get certain land allotments and other benefits. After slavery, many black people were associated with some of these tribes by bloodline, through marriage, through adoption, and even servitude. And because they were associated with these tribes, many black people were entitled to some of these benefits. The government did not want blacks to get these benefits, so they created a separate freedmen's list specifically for black people. They also started to list any full-blooded Native American who had African features as black because they didn't want them getting those benefits either. At the same time, they allowed white citizens to come in and pay money under the table to be listed as part Native American.
1895 and 1896, when a lot of the whites found out the benefits that these Indians, that these blacks are going to be entitled to, a lot of whites went to the Dawes Commission and say, look, why don't you put my name on there? They said, but you're not an Indian. So that's what they said, well, I'll give you $5. So the rule got around, the policy got around that if for $5 that a white could put his name on the Dawes rolls and be called himself an Indian and be entitled to all these benefits, and all their children could be entitled to all these benefits forever. And so that became known as what's called a $5 Indian. And so if you go around now and check most of the Indians, the so-called Indians in America, about 90% of them are not even Indians. Those are just whites now who are passing as Indians, but they're getting all the benefits and they're not paying. So that became known as what's called a $5, and be called himself an Indian. He said, that's what he said, well, I'll give you $5. So the rule.
We looked at these rolls, y'all remember? I just showed you guys. Oh my gosh, I got so many rolls, guys, of all these different Indians. It's like millions of them. These records that show who they were, their name, this same exact record that he's showing now. I got a ton of these with all the different ones from the areas. And we're going to go over some of those today. Trust and believe me. I'm going to show y'all this shit crazy that they showing this in this particular video.
Got around, the policy got around that for $5 that a white could put his name on the Dawes rolls
and be
called himself an Indian and be entitled to all these benefits, and all their children could be entitled to all these benefits forever. And so that became known as what's called a $5 Indian. And so if you go around now and check most of the Indians, the so-called Indians in America, about 90% of them are not even Indians. Those are just whites now who are passing as Indians, but they're getting all the benefits and they're not paying any taxes, getting free college education. They put up a little reservation on the land that they don't live on.
Look at this thing right here.
And get all kind of benefits.
Woo! The disrespect of it all.
Iron Eyes Cody was another famous Native American person. He was in the media for years. In the 1970s, they utilized him for this pollution commercial. He was known as the Crying Indian. So he was a very well-known Native American in American culture. But the reality is, Iron Eyes Cody wasn't Native American at all. He was
Sicilian Italian.
His parents were from Sicily. So he didn't have one drop of Native American blood in him. He was another fake Indian.
The definition of the Racial Integrity Act of 1924, right? This was passed right before the Banking Act, right? It says passed at the height of the eugenics movement. At the height of the eugenics movement, passed at the height of the eugenics movement. The Racial Integrity Act proclaimed the existence of only two racial categories in Virginia. Only two, colored and white. They defined it to only two, colored and white, in Virginia. The law stripped the Native American Indians, not the Native Americans, but the Indians, the American Indians. The law stripped the American Indians, okay, right? The members and other groups with dark skins in their land, of their particular lands, and of their legal identity. The law took the American Indians, members and other groups with dark skin and their lands, took their voting rights, took their legal identity. Same thing that's being done today. And an anthropologist, who cares about his name, discusses the act and its legalities. Also in the anthropologist, another anthropologist explains that the absurdity of the one drop rule and its effect on the American Indian Virginians. I showed you guys a week ago, when the government came in. If y'all remember, the government came in. They helped these people burn and beat our people. They even trapped them in corners so that the YT people could jump on them and kill them and burn them and take their lands. Y'all remember that? Who remember that? Put a one in the chat. If not, I'm gonna make sure I show that again today. Make sure I show y'all that information. If you didn't.
Right now, most of the Negro leaders sell out to the to the white politicians.
It says
This is just another cog in the wheel of deception.
You don't say.
The people that are the true
Oh, my girl.
Americans in this
I
country
love her.
call themselves African American, Negro, Black, colored people.
The lie detector test determined you're telling the truth.
Told truth.
Mhm.
Told truth.
Tell the truth. Shame the who? Shame the who?
Trying to provoke anybody to do anything or trying to get people to do things? Yes. Tell us what. Think. Use your head.
Simple. 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 Oh man, sis got dropped off again. She jumped up here to say something. I'm so sorry we didn't get to hear. Maybe she'll jump up in the live later, sis. I don't know if you had to jump off, you didn't have time to wait, but either way, I'll definitely give you Sasha, you're gonna have to find a video. You're the only one that see. I'm sorry, sis, because that's gonna be time I have to spend to do all that. But yeah, everybody, it was a recent video last about a week ago. Showing everything. Them actually, the United Guards coming in, ushering them out, helping these people burn them. They was taking pieces of their skin, making souvenirs. Oh man, that shit went hard and deep, and I don't really want to go through it again if I don't have to. So yeah, find that video. Says peace, love, and bliss to everybody. I'll see you guys at 1. Let me make sure you guys have the link again. I'll drop it one more time before we get up out of here. There we go. And see, Saved by the Bell. Sister, hold on, girl. I got something to say. Peace and bliss, my love. How are you today?
Good morning, everybody. Or good grandest, everybody. I don't know where good morning came out of. I didn't come up here. I think my Wi-Fi speaker was shutting me down, and I turned it off. And now I'm on top. Now I'm on screen with you on piano, which I just want to be in the background.
Oh, you didn't want to say anything. Oh, I thought you didn't mean to hit the StreamYard link. You saying, sis?
That's right.
No problem, darling. Okay, we about to get out of here, and I will see you guys at 1. And peace, love, and bliss to everybody. Until then, we out.
Peace and love, everybody.